You know what's strange? When the whole country seems glued to their screens during the FIFA World Cup, when pubs are overflowing during the FA Cup final, when entire cities erupt because a team wins the Premier League, there's always a group of people sitting quietly thinking, I genuinely don't care. Not in a rebellious way. Not in a I'm different way. Just nothing. No emotional spike. No tribal pull. No urge to scream at the television. And what's interesting isn't that they don't care. It's how uncomfortable that makes everyone else. Because in the UK especially, football isn't just sport. It's culture. It's identity. It's history. It's family inheritance. Entire weekends revolve around fixtures. Conversations at work assume participation. Social plans are scheduled around kickoff times. So when someone calmly says, yeah, I'm not into it, it almost sounds like they've rejected something sacred. But here's the reality. The brain isn't born wired to care about football. There is no default human setting that automatically activates emotional chaos over a goal. What actually happens when someone becomes deeply invested in football is a complex mix of conditioning, identity formation, tribal psychology, and dopamine reinforcement. From childhood, you absorb it. Your dad supports a club. Your friends argue about transfers. Your school playground debates who's better. Your town takes pride in its team. Slowly, the sport becomes stitched into your social fabric. Over time, something powerful develops. When your team wins, your brain releases dopamine. You feel pride, achievement, status, even though you didn't physically contribute to the win. Psychologists call this basking in reflected glory. Your identity merges with the team's success. For some people, the dopamine circuit becomes strong. For others, it barely activates. They watch the same goal and feel neutral. And neutrality in a room full of euphoria feels almost suspicious. But here's something most people don't realize. Humans vary dramatically in their optimal stimulation levels. Some nervous systems crave intensity, loud environments, emotional swings, big social gatherings, unpredictable outcomes. Others prefer calm, predictability, controlled environments. Lower sensory input. Think about a major football night in the UK. The pub is packed. Glasses clink. People shout. Adrenaline spikes. Every near miss creates a collective groan. Every goal creates chaos. For one person, that's electric. For another, it's exhausting. Roughly 15 to 20% of people score higher in sensory sensitivity research. For them, a football watch party isn't fun. It's a 3-hour sensory assault. The noise, the tension, the emotional volatility, the constant stimulation. They don't leave energized. They leave drained. That doesn't mean they dislike people. It means their nervous system processes intensity differently. Then there's tribal identity. Humans evolved in tribes. In-group versus out-group dynamics helped us survive. Modern football taps directly into that ancient wiring. My club, our rivals. We beat them. Notice the language. It's collective. It's tribal. Supporting a club often connects to family, heritage, city pride, even class identity. In some regions, it's generational loyalty. When someone doesn't participate, it can feel like they're opting out of the tribe. But here's the thing. Not everyone anchors their identity in sport. Some people build identity through career, through creativity, through faith, through business, through niche communities, through intellectual pursuits. They're not anti-community. They've simply found belonging elsewhere. Another powerful psychological factor is locus of control. Some people lean heavily toward an internal locus of control. They prefer investing emotional energy into things they can influence. Their fitness, their income, their skills, their relationships, their business. Now think about watching a football match. You shout at the screen. You wear a lucky shirt. You refuse to change seats. You feel stress rising, but nothing you do changes the outcome. For someone strongly wired toward internal control, that can feel fundamentally unsatisfying. Why pour emotional energy into something completely outside your influence? For others, the emotional journey is the point. The shared experience matters more than control. Neither is wrong. They're just different psychological orientations. Then there's uncertainty tolerance. Football is built on unpredictability. That's what creates suspense. You don't know what's going to happen. A last-minute goal can flip everything. For many people, unpredictability equals excitement. But research shows people vary widely in how comfortable they are with uncertainty. Some experience suspense as thrill. Others experience it as anxiety. If you have lower uncertainty tolerance, a tense penalty shootout doesn't feel thrilling. It feels uncomfortable. And if the outcome doesn't impact your real life, sitting through 2 hours of rising tension can feel pointless. It's similar to horror films. Some people love being scared in a safe context. Others ask, why would I voluntarily stress myself? Modern life adds another layer. The UK today isn't exactly calm. Cost of living pressure, work demands, constant news cycles, endless notifications, financial stress. For some people, football hype feels like one more thing competing for emotional bandwidth. They're not rejecting it out of superiority. They're tired. Sometimes indifference is simply emotional conservation. There's also the social dimension. In many workplaces and social circles, football conversation is assumed. Did you see the match? What did you think of that goal? Who do you support? If you respond with, I didn't watch it, there's often a pause, sometimes playful, sometimes confused, sometimes mildly judgmental. That reaction reveals something important. Football in the UK isn't just entertainment. It's a bonding ritual, a shared language. Opting out can unintentionally disrupt that shared code. And when shared rituals are disrupted, people can feel uneasy. It's rarely about the game itself. It's about belonging. There's also personality to consider. Some individuals naturally gravitate toward analytical interests, others toward creative pursuits, others toward competition, others toward collaboration. The person who doesn't care about football might be deeply passionate about something else entirely. Tech innovation, literature, finance, philosophy, gym, progression, investing. Their excitement isn't absent. It's redirected. Yet culturally, we rarely question someone's obsession with football. We question indifference instead. That says more about cultural dominance than psychology. And sometimes, there truly isn't a deep explanation. Some people simply don't find it interesting. Just like some people don't enjoy tea, or festivals, or reality television. Preference, diversity is normal. The real curiosity lies in why indifference feels provocative. When someone strongly identifies with football culture, it becomes part of their self-concept, their weekend structure, their social circle, their history. If another person shrugs at it, even neutrally, it can subconsciously feel like a rejection. As if the message is, this thing that matters deeply to you doesn't register for me. That can create subtle defensiveness. But difference isn't dismissal. A society where everyone responds emotionally to the same stimuli would be chaotic. Some people fuel stadiums and celebrations. Others use that same time to build businesses, study, create art, train at the gym, rest, or reflect. Balance emerges from variation. Millions can watch the FIFA World Cup and feel collective ecstasy. Millions more can use the quiet streets to enjoy peace. And somehow, both experiences coexist. If you don't care about football, it doesn't mean you lack passion. It may mean your nervous system prefers different stimulation. It may mean your identity forms around different anchors. It may mean you prefer investing energy into controllable outcomes. It may mean unpredictability doesn't excite you, or it may simply mean you're not interested. That's not abnormal. It's human variation. And if you live for football, that's equally human. The interesting part isn't who cares. It's why we expect everyone to. And once you understand the psychology behind that expectation, the tension disappears. Different wiring, different tribes, different dopamine triggers. Same society, just experienced in completely different ways.